Another day in the life of a family who live near Lyon in France. Yves and Nicolas spend as much time as they can with their 3 little girls. Malou, who's 6.5, is a year ahead at school. Her dad is teaching her chess. Games, reading, drawing, such activities occupy the family's leisure time. Absent from their home, a television.
The girls have never known a television in the home since we got rid of it a year after we moved in together, because we had no time to watch it.
DVDs and the internet, under strict parental control, are allowed in the home, and the girls can watch children's channels in their friends' houses.
I often say that TV's made for children by adults. Maybe if the programs were made by the children, it would mean more to them.
I don't believe in TV's educational role. We're the teachers. Without being pretentious, I think we can bring them much more without the TV. Anyway, I don't care we don't have TV. I don't like it. Why not? Because it hurts my eyes after a while.
Due to a lack of TV, Malou's family didn't know of the Broadcasting Supervisory Board's child safety campaign.
La télévision n'est pas toujours un
French TV and the protection of children against what's on screen.
Parents, le Conseil supérieur...
Signage accompanying the child, guidance, and most importantly, no TV before the age of 3.
Pensez à limiter le temps
It's a way of responding to the growing number of children's channels, including those from overseas. Campaign advisor Serge Tisserand says young children simply don't learn from TV.
The more a baby is put in front of a television, the less it learns how to play. And the less it learns how to play, the more bored it will be when not in front of the TV. Watching the TV can also encourage obesity later on in pre-adolescence and adolescence because they're not active enough. Other research has shown that a child under 3 who watches children's programs develops the ability to talk more slowly because, quite simply, television's not interactive.
Another part of the campaign is aimed at supervising and talking to older children about what they see on TV. Studies show that 80% of images consumed by the children are not children's programs, but programs for all ages. Among the programs most watched by family is television news.
These are the programs for which the violence is for them more threatening because they know that we speak of true reality. When they watch dramas, they know that there is still some distance, and it's a story that is told or is rebuilt. In Northern Europe, there's a tendency to think that final responsibility for the child rests with the government, which, therefore, is careful about not exposing them to violent images. In Latin countries, we tend to think that the responsibility for the education of children rests with the family. Parents tend to want their children to grow up fast. They don't really want to keep them in a cocoon for too long.
Northern countries are also more protective with respect to publicity. In Sweden in particular, advertising is prohibited on the public channels and around the programmes for children on the commercial network. Elsewhere in Europe, advertisements account for approximately 10% of the children's viewing time. The children have long been targeted by the advertisers as being very influential in what families might purchase. A meeting with the Fréquence École Association that educates children about the media. The topic of the day's workshop, socio-cultural stereotypes and in particular discrimination.
We understood that there were many white people on TV, but we didn't realize that before.
According to the head of the association, adults do not do enough to decipher messages children get from television.
Media is the first cultural practice. Globally, it's where the culture is made. The media is ubiquitous. They have a role to play on many issues in our society. We're usually quite concerned about the issue of information, but everything else, music videos, series, advertising, that's rarely taken into account.
Television, computer game consoles, mobile phones. According to a French study, 45% of children spend over half their time looking at screens.
There are 3 TVs at home, one in my room, one in my mother's, one in the living room, and my sister's got one on her phone. There are those who have neither television nor internet, but they die without internet. They can go on the mobile phones, there are games, you can call your friends. What if you don't have a mobile phone? Oh, we're dead.
The web becomes the reference screen of youth culture, according to this sociologist, who's responsible for an investigation for the Fréquence École Association on usage and risks of the internet among children and adolescents.
I don't think the internet can replace real life. There's still a desire to continue to meet your friends. Internet connection is simply a way to meet them when you're physically separated.
This 3D world provides a second life online for children aged 6 to 12 years old. With an avatar, one can construct a house, an island, or just go virtual shopping. Doesn't this confuse virtual reality and real life? The head of the company publishing the game thinks not.
What we wanted to do is create a world in which rules of life in the virtual world are similar to the rules in everyday life. Thus, playing will be of help in learning about the real world.
A secure platform allows parents to control their use by their children if they wish to. In general terms, parents don't often police their children's use of the internet. The Fréquence École survey shows a majority of children who surf the net are at risk.
We were quite surprised to see how few parents gave strict and clear rules over their children's use of the internet, knowing that when there are rules, children don't always follow them.
Often accused of generating violence, the media can be said to act as a trigger, but the causes are to be found in social, family or in a psychological context, says Michael Storer. He uses video games to help children and troubled adolescents to act in the virtual world in order to repair the wounds of the real world.
That's how I started. My job is to work with autistic or psychotic children, who sometimes can succeed using video games, while most of the time they were constantly faced with failures. I used it with other types of children who had behavioral disorders. This allowed them to finally be able to confront some things that were invisible and became visible. That is, the monsters you will face are perhaps the monsters inside.
Sont peut-être les monstres intérieurs.